Hello there and welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be having a look at the classic Jackie Chan's Armour of God, which I've got on two Blu-ray releases here, one from 88 Films. Lot to be said about this movie, a real lot to be said about this movie, so if I'm talking quite quickly it's only because I've got so much to say and I want to try and condense it so that you're not here for a long time and I can just get a quick review of the film across. But as I say, a lot to be said, so if I am talking quite quickly, please bear with me. This is Jackie Chan's classic Indiana Jones Hong Kong actioner, and the film that nearly cost Jackie Chan his life in more ways than any other movie he has made. I mean, of course, Jackie Chan has come near death numerous times, but no more so than Armour of God, where he really did come close to it being a fatality. Made in 1986 and of course directed by Jackie Chan, the film was the highest grossing movie in Hong Kong at the time, up to that point, so it really wasn't a bad day at the office for Jackie Chan. The film done extremely well. Jackie Chan teams up here with Alan Tam, who was a huge big sort of pop star in Hong Kong at the time. Pretty sure he might still be. But he also worked in Pantyhose Killer or Hero with Sammo Hung as well. But here, as I say, he was a pop star time in Hong Kong. I believe Jackie Chan, they did enjoy working together. They do work well together, him and Alan Tam. We also get here Lola Forner, who, like many of you remember from Wheels on Meals. We also get Rosamund Kwan here coming along for the ride. What you will notice, like when you watch this film, is how immediately the film starts. There's no big exposition shots, no character introduction. It's just Jackie sneaking into this tribe, just trying to get this artifact. Straight away, you're in right in the middle of it. There's no build up to it. Jackie is right there. You're right in the middle of it. No theme music right away or anything like that. The film just sort of begins. We see Jackie with his shortened hair, which was originally going to be the haircut that he was going to keep for the whole movie, but that got changed after the accident that happened on Armour of God. He had it longer, and you can actually see, if you watch the film closely, you can actually see when he's sliding down the hill. That's when the longer haircut sort of takes over. That's when he you can tell this is sort of post the accident. So the whole opening sequence is a great homage to what Spielberg and sort of George Lucas were doing in the Indiana films, and especially sort of Raiders of the Lost Ark. And it's just done here in that great Jackie Chan style that we all know and love. So Jackie's character, Agent Hawk, the plot is he was in a band with Alan Tam, and they fell out because of Rosamund Kwan's character, and he left to be sort of an adventurer. I mean, talk about a change in job. He was in a band, he was just sort of a backup singer, then he decided, you know what, I'm going to be a treasure hunter. I mean, talk about changing your career path. So yeah, talk about just changing things from your lifestyle. The stunning question that nearly cost Jackie his life was when he simply had to jump from a wall to a tree branch. Now, the annoying thing when you read about this accident, because I've read Jackie's autobiographies, the first take he'd done it fine. It was no problem. That's the take that's included in the movie. But Jackie Chan, being the perfectionist that he is, wanted to give it another go. The tree branch was not that strong, obviously, because it snapped. But it was a simple stunt for Jackie Chan, by Jackie Chan standards anyway. When as planned, being the perfectionist, he wanted to try again. I mean, I think he fell about 5 meters and hitting his head on a rock, no less. So very, very, very painful, and it caused the pain to go up into his brain. I mean, this was serious stuff even for Jackie Chan. Obviously, when it is your stunt team and you are the bigger brother of your stunt team, you have to set by an example. And this didn't stop Jackie Chan in the slightest. If anything, after this, it sort of gave him more momentum, gave him more drive. He come back stronger than ever. He just carried on work with as usual. He's now nowadays he has like a hole in his head, and I believe it's partially or even a little bit of. I think Jackie's actually partially deaf in one ear. I believe. It's worth noting that Eric Tsang was originally going to be the director of this movie, but obviously with schedules and productions and things like that, once Jackie had this accident, Jackie Chan had to take over direction duties. Eric Tsang, you may remember from being in the Lucky Stars movies. So the whole premise of this film is this evil cult want Jackie to track down the Armour of God. They kidnap Lorelei and end up Jackie Chan and Alan Tam have to get her back. So she is like this fashion designer. We have this whole sequence with these guys coming to this fashion show, shooting things up. Very James Bond, very sort of sequence here, and it's juxtaposed with this whole, with Alan Tam sort of singing while there's this big shootout at this fashion show. The sequence to me always seemed more brutal in nature, even at one point having this guy get shot in the eye. It's quite brutal, like I say, even for a Jackie Chan film. It really does. Let's say this bullet goes right through this glass eye and it sort of explodes around his glasses, and it is a bit, didn't expect that in a Jackie Chan movie. Just seemed a bit like overkill to me, quite literally. Even have Rosamund Kwan getting slapped here by these guys at one of the points. So it's quite a brutal moment in this scene when Rosamund Kwan does get kidnapped. So then we catch up with Asian Hawk, who is auctioning the sword that he stole at the beginning of the movie, where he meets Lola Forner and he's sort of bidding against his own stuff to sort of get the prices up. And what is interesting about this film is you get Jackie really taking in that European setting, getting out of that Hong Kong type of vibe. He's really making the most of his environment here and really just giving the film a much more exuberant, sort of wider, European setting, and giving it, say, he's giving his Hong Kong audiences something new and fresh and something they hadn't seen before, and definitely something that no one else was doing. Also note that Jackie's character here is very different from what he had played before. His character, Asian Hawk, is very cocky, he's very sure of himself, he's a bit different from the character you get in, say, Police Story. He's a bit more, he's got a free life, he goes on adventures, he's a bit more, jack of all trades, he's quite confident in his abilities. So Alan and Jackie get a letter saying they have from these guys saying they have Rosamund Kwan and bring us the Armour of God. I mean, no need to go to the police, is there? I mean, there's absolutely no need to go to the police at all. I mean, it's like, just, right, we better sort this out ourselves. They go to this count who has 2 of the pieces and who keeps like leopards and has like 50 dogs. Nice comedy moment here where they sort of go to sit down and they're in sort of this antique room with loads of valuables, and Jackie and Alan go to sit down on the furniture and the count sits on the floor and they're like, oh right, I guess we're sitting on the floor, can't sit on that stuff. Just nice, like I say, bit of comedy there. Here we get told the story of how evil people were defeated by this true god who used like the armour to perish the evil ways, and they want it gone, as this cult that Jackie's dealing with sort of view it as sort of a threat. Although this sort of flashback scene is very brief, it really does show Jackie's skill as a director here, because this flashback, although it's like set in olden days and God knows what else, it is really well done. It's, as I say, it's almost got like a Hollywood sort of vibe to it. Jackie was aware of giving the MacGuffin here, like some backstory, some sort of the myth around what he's after, what he's pursuing. We find out Lola is the Count's daughter and she goes along with him. Count is like, okay, I'll lend you my pieces, but bring me the whole thing back. It's like his whole reason for helping Jackie. It's like he's got part of it. The evil cult have got the rest of it. He's like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll lend you what I've got, but you bring me the whole set back. And his daughter goes along. So bearing in mind the film has been on about 30 minutes at this point, we actually really haven't had much in the action stakes. There hasn't been really all that much action going on, even around the half-hour mark, aside from sort of the opening sequence. Some great comedy moments in the montage as they're sort of travelling along, on their journey, all sent to some fight, some light fun music as they are driving on their way to their destination, like Jackie getting a speeding ticket, Lola like bored in the car as Jackie and Alan are sort of urinating at the side of the road. So there's little comedy moments here, but you'd think they're just having a luxury day out, and then they're all staying at this luxury picturesque pad as well. I mean, none of them seem that worried or any urgency regarding, I don't know, that little small thing, the kidnapping that's happening. Like, there is a kidnapping here, someone's being kidnapped. They all seem to be just having a nice little luxury holiday, So they go to make the handover, and it turns out Lola has brought like a full-on sniper rifle along with her, and her dad's more than okay with this. So she just sets up her sniper rifle at the top of this building. Just like in the middle of the day, in the market in the middle of the day, she just brings along this sniper rifle. And it's just quite okay to go up to the top of this like tower and just start shooting some of the monks and shooting right at them to sort of, so they don't sort of antagonise Jackie and Alan. I mean, I know she mentioned she won a shooting contest, but even still, so they use pots and pans disguised as the pieces to the Armour of God, and they get sussed. I know I've said this so many times in my Hong Kong movie reviews, but never underestimate them for their ability to shoot a fantastic action scene. And Armour of God has a really great one. I know it's probably done by a second unit director. I'm not sure who that may have been on a Jackie Chan, but it might have been Jackie Chan who done it himself. But it's a really great car chase, great fun here to be had. Jackie in his silver Mitsubishi, motorbikes, all great fun stuff. My only snag is with this, I felt, regarding the pacing. It probably should have happened a little bit earlier in the movie. I think the car chase was a bit too late. I think it should have definitely happened a bit more earlier than what it did. Maybe 5 to 10 minutes earlier, because I just think that Armour of God does slow down a little bit in places. Notice the energetic guitar riff music that's playing as the car chase is happening. That really does keep the whole thing ticking along really nicely. Topped off with some great motorcycle stunts, and you have a great action scene. It's just amazing how many ramps there are around this town. There's a lot of ramps, but it makes the action scene look cool. So Jackie and Alan, they're about to be ran by the bad dude's car. They escape on this little scooter thing, something straight out of a James Bond film. And they were going to ram him to sort of try and kill Asian Hawk, but I thought the cult wanted to keep Asian Hawk alive so he could bring them the Armour of God. So I'm not quite sure if they did kill him, they'd have been like, oh crap, we won't be able to get the Armour of God now. So yeah, I'm not sure what their plan was there. Because if they did kill him, he wouldn't have been able to get them the Armour of God. So they get information that the road people about town work for a missionary and come down once a month to get food and girls. Right, so there's nothing off there then. This mysterious cult that come down from the mountains just come down to just check out the ladies and take them off with them. So it doesn't sound too ominous at all. Learn just for good measure they are peddling opium, heroin, just all drugs as well. You've got to have that thrown in as well. So the cult are also doing drug selling and contraband and things like that. You just to make sure we know they are all villains. So they sneak in. Lola pretends to be a prostitute. Rosamund Kwan gets injected with something that sort of puts her under the cult's power, which is a bit bizarre. But she sort of becomes sort of possessed in a way after she gets injected with this sort of serum. They get her out, and there's a nice funny scene I like where they're trying to keep low and crouch and walk, and Alan trips on his robe and has sort of to hold it up sort of behind him because they got these robes and they can't sort of crouch and walk in at the same time. And again, talking about character, there's one point Jackie, because Lola was described as a prostitute, and he gets her back, and if you watch the dub version, I can't remember what he says, might be totally different in the Cantonese version, but he says to her, do you want to play whore again? Now Jackie, that seems out of context even for Jackie Chan, that doesn't seem like something Jackie Chan would normally say. The whole film there's got this love triangle going on between Jackie, Alan and Rosamund Kwan. So this scene in the movie goes on way too long. At this point in the movie, I think it goes on way too long. I know it's funny and it has its comedy moments where Rosamund Kwan wants to see the Armour of God, but it just goes on with them going from room to room, etc. It just goes on a bit too long, in my opinion. Jackie and Lola wake up and Alan and Rosamund Kwan are gone. And now the film ramps up about 20 gears. Right, the film absolutely gets some energy and momentum going behind it, and the film really does ramp up in this last sort of 20-25 minutes. You have Jackie doing a motorcycle run up a mountain. I mean, the last half hour of the movie is absolutely phenomenal, and the great thing is this is mainly what you remember after watching the movie. Like, Jackie Chan was almost sort of saving the action for that last half hour, so you go out thinking, what an amazing film that was, what a great action film that was. So it does stick in your mind. Then we have him scaling down a cliffside only to break halfway so we can have some gum. And if you watch that scene, if you watch that bit where he is descending the mountain just on his this zip line, if you watch that, camera pans out and you just get to see how high Jackie Chan really is. I mean, he is way up. He is really, really high. No technology, and this is what you want. And to be honest, the whole film with this would have been amazing. Just Jackie sneaking into a cult's lair to retrieve something or get something back. I mean, that could have easily been, I'd have watched that for about 2 hours. Just Jackie sneaking into this lair, taking out these monks and this cult to get something back. That would have been a film in itself. Just would have been perfect. I mean, when he sneaks in, he's doing some great physical stuff, pivoting off beams and trying to avoid being detective. Even through the conversation with Alan and Rosamund Kwan does go on way too long. Again, some of the conversation pieces does slow down a little bit. Jackie being like, I will save her, but not you. And again, very sort of against type here for Jackie. Being very sort of hard-edged and being almost in a way sort of nasty and chauvinistic in his nature, as such as the Asian Hawk character. So we have the great Jackie like the great Jackie disturbing the monks at the dinner table with one of my favourite shots where Jackie has sort of this wooden beam that's sort of on fire and the camera sort of pans with him as he runs along the table, sort of waving it at the monks. And it's a really well shot. Like the camera's on like the rails and it's going along with Jackie, and it really does look good. Then we have a fight scene, which are, you know, a really good one. Must have been hard for Jackie using Westerners, you know, who were not used to some of his choreography, though I'm pretty sure the bulk of the time when it is the Westerners fighting Jackie, it's probably some members of his stunt team wearing wigs or, you know, in disguise as Westerners, because Jackie Chan, obviously his stunt team, they're the people who he's working with and knows really well and knows how he works. You see a great flip from one of the great stunt team who does like a backward flip on the table, lands on his knees and then flips again, which is a fantastic stunt. Really well done from the guy who performed that. No idea who did, but what a flip it is. Absolutely amazing. Worth mentioning the gum trick that Jackie does throughout the movie. He just, like, different ways, throws one at the door, he turns around and catches it in its mouth. Sometimes he further this gum thing is something he further expands on in Operation Condor. He does it a lot more in Operation Condor, but his gimmick, Asian Hawk, is just different ways he can put gum in his mouth. Even something as simple as that is Jackie Chan can make fun, can make entertaining, you know, just putting some chewing gum in your mouth. Then we have probably the standout fight of the scene with Jackie taking on the 4 females with their heels. Really great, fast scene. I love how intense it is and that fight. I mean, you know, they fight, then they stop, they have a chat, like he has a chat with the Grand Wizard, and then they fight again. So they fight and you think the fight's over, but no, they have a little conversation, then the fight goes again. really well. I'd say Jackie Chan doing a fight with a gimmick again, just making something that stands out, giving the audience something new, something different. Some great falls and flips here. Jackie going onto the walkway so they have trouble walking. I love when one of them jumps down and Jackie actually sweeps one of them in midair. Like the woman jumps down, Jackie forward sweeps her the ankles in midair and she flips, and it just looks great. Really does look great. Just looks fantastic. So we learned that Jackie actually had dynamite on him the whole time. Fun scene again where he's like double bluffing, saying he'll blow the place up, and each time he lights it, he's trying to put it out. He's trying to quickly extinguish, you know, because it's obviously real dynamite that he's trying to get rid of. Some real nice set destruction as well at the end of the movie, and really gives the film a great epicness at the end when that set is actually being destructed. It really does. You really do get a sense, you know, this is, like I say, an epic film, one of the first epic films you got from Jackie Chan. So Lola, Rosamund, Kwan and Alan are on like hot air balloon. Where they got this hot air balloon from, I have no idea. Just comes out of nowhere. They just suddenly, that was the plan. You get the hot air balloon. I mean, bearing in mind he got Rosamund, Kwan and Alan Tam out just about 5 minutes previous. Suddenly they're in this hot air balloon, right? So there it's, you know, whatever, plot discrepancy, whatever. Like how they got there, where they got there, what the plan was, I have no idea at this point. So then Jackie does a jump from the cliffside onto the balloon. The film ends, and of course you get the great Jackie Chan bloopers. More so than ever, when you watch them bloopers, Jackie Chan has a real blast. You can tell he's having a real blast here in the outtakes. Obviously, post his accident, it might have changed his outlook a bit. He was definitely having a lot more fun on the set. He just looks like I say, that the accident that happened this day unfortunately nearly cost Jackie Chan his life. It didn't impede him at all. And when you, like I say, you are the bigger brother of your stunt team and you are meant to set the standard and the sort of the work code, the work ethic, Jackie Chan came back to work stronger than ever. You know, he really did come back to work stronger than ever. But Armour of God is, you know, it's a classic Jackie Chan film. Do not get me wrong. Armour of God is a brilliant Jackie Chan film. It's just, I think sometimes like the comedy scenes does slow it down a little bit here and there, but as I say, Armour of God is worth watching just for the last half hour alone, because it's Jackie Chan, as I say, he's at his best, just doing his thing the only way he can. So sorry, that's a bit of a quick one. Had a lot to say, but I think I've basically covered the bulk of what I needed to say about Armour of God. If you have seen Armour of God, let me know, or if you prefer Armour of God to Operation Condor or vice versa. So thank you very much indeed for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you soon.